Good Monday afternoon, April 1st. This is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates, bringing you the TrueView Exteriors Severe Outlook, as there have been some changes to the SPC outlook for tomorrow primarily, but there remains a severe threat for later today, primarily this evening and into the early overnight hours of Tuesday. And we'll take a look at all that, and then we'll take a look at what's changing with the outlook for tomorrow. First and foremost, I do want to thank Byron Jackson for having his eye out and making sure that I became aware of the changes. It's been super busy here at work, so I had not had a chance to really look at much. He made me aware of it and then made a post for me, so I appreciate Byron for having my back on that. So here's a look at today's Storm Prediction Center outlook. Again, Madison County remains in a slight risk for severe weather with all modes of severe possible. But the primary threat will be hail. Here's a look at the tornado outlook for, again, this is going to be late this evening into the very early hours of Tuesday. We're in a 2 to 4% risk for tornadoes. The greatest tornado threat will remain back over Missouri and southwestern Illinois. The severe wind outlook, we're right on that cusp. We're at about a 15% chance for damaging winds. But again, with the greatest threat for that being over southwestern Indiana, southern Illinois, and back into Missouri. And then our hail outlook is at 15 to 29%, probably again closer to 15%, with the greatest hail threat being basically from the western portion of Indiana, far western, back across Illinois and Missouri. So the bigger change occurs for tomorrow. So the Storm Prediction Center earlier had us in a marginal risk. The storm system appears that it's going to be slower. The main front is going to come through right in prime time, mid to late afternoon. And kind of if it gets a little bit slower, then this actually could be pulled even farther to the west. If it speeds up a little bit, this could push east. So there could still be some changes. But Madison County is now in an enhanced risk for severe tomorrow, with much of Ohio being in a moderate risk for severe tomorrow. The threats of tornado risk, Madison County is in a 10 to 14% probability of a tornado tomorrow. These, according to the Storm Prediction Center, could be some stronger, longer track tornadoes, much like what we saw a couple of weeks ago back in mid-March. We're also in a crosshatched area, which means there's a 10% possibility of a significant tornado, EF2 to EF5. So again, kind of like what we saw a couple of weeks ago, and that does include Madison County. So we will need to be on the lookout for possible tornadic activity tomorrow. Again, timing will be everything, but it looks like mid to late afternoon for us, which is getting right into prime time when the air really begins to lift more freely. The low pressure gets closer and the cold front gets closer. Our severe wind probability is 30 to 44% for Madison County. We're kind of right on that cusp, so probably closer to 30%. Areas over just to the east of Muncie, again in a 10% probability of gusts over 74 miles per hour. That's that crosshatched area that you're seeing. So areas basically from Muncie and east could be at an even greater risk for high winds tomorrow. And the same areas also a greater risk for large hail of over 2 inches in diameter. So Madison County, again, is around a 30% chance for large hail tomorrow from areas Muncie and east. At this point, it appears to be a 10% probability of hail larger than 2 inches. So that's a pretty significant change. Again, if the system is a little bit slower, then that will back up farther to the west. If it's a little bit farther to the east, if it's a little bit faster, then that'll push farther to the east. So there may be some changes by the morning. We'll just have to see how it plays out. In the meantime, just to recap quickly, and I'll try to post a simulated radar loop here in a little bit, but our severe threat for today here in Madison County appears to be late this evening into the overnight hours of tomorrow. There will be several clusters. Again, I think hail is probably the main threat here. Maybe some damaging winds if storms collapse and create downbursts. The tornado threat I'm a little less concerned about today, but you just can't rule it out. That again, throughout late this evening into the overnight hours, that cluster will move out in the morning, and then that will give plenty of time for the atmosphere to destabilize again ahead of the cold front and the main part of the show tomorrow afternoon. Again, looks like probably in the 3 to 5 p.m. time frame for Madison County at current pace. That could change. We'll see how that looks tomorrow. And then once that gets by, temperatures will plunge. And then we may be talking about some snow late Wednesday. So this is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. I'll update you as anything changes or if anything develops later on. In the meantime, thank you for trusting this page. If you support this page financially, thank you so much. If you don't and you find this worth it, please support this page financially and help me keep going. So have a great day, and I'll update as needed.